Hello and welcome to JomezPro coverage from the Glassblown Open presented by Dynamic Discs, coverage supported by the PDGA. We're here in Emporia, Kansas. BigSexy commentary, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling.
Yeah, man. We are really seeing things shake out. An incredible round two. Eagle McMahon, 1077 rated 8 under in the 30-mile-an-hour gusts. Impressive play for him, jumping from third card to lead, and really incredible. And McBeth, obviously, right there at the top. He is on a hot streak right now. I don't even know how many tournaments he's won in a row, but look at this card. Ricky Wysocki. We're missing Simon or you for like the most popular card of all time, but
this
James
guy's
Conrad,
no slouch.
Yeah, he might be right there too.
James with a great round, up into third place tie, -9 so far for the event.
And these guys have been battling the wind. Well, at least they did for round two, but that wind is subdued. I think we're right in between the conditions from round one and round two. It's slightly windy.
Yep.
It's going to be a factor in some places, but it's not nearly the obstacle that it created in round one or round two.
Yeah, hole one, 1093, OB on both sides, especially tight up there by the green. Keep in mind that walking path, a cart path really.
Sponsored by Discmania, Eagle McMahon.
We saw Eagle go with a big safe hyzer in round one. I think he'll probably continue that play. Was that rusted root? I couldn't quite hear what that was.
I'm not sure.
I dig rusted root. Good shot right to the middle. That's in like the middle of the middle.
From Goody, Virginia, sponsored by Discraft, Paul McBeth.
5 years ago, if you had told me that Paul McBeth's intro was going to be from Virginia, sponsored by Discraft, Paul McBeth, I would have been like, there must be a new guy on tour.
Yeah, or like, what are the odds? Let me lay down a bet.
Yeah, get a new name. You name thief.
Paul going to go with the turning shot, but it doesn't really turn. I think this is going to be okay.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Some interesting body English after that release. I don't think he was hurt. I just think he didn't like how he let go of the shot.
From Blacksburg, Virginia, sponsored by Innova, James Conrad.
Conrad, obviously a player with a tremendous amount of power and really low flat shots, which is the best way to combat that wind, which is why he played such a great round two to get to this position. And I think he actually finished with a really big number on finishing. I don't know if it was 17 or 18, but he was coming in with a really hot round, and oh no, that slid out of bounds?
Wow,
yeah.
that looked so good out of his hand, too. I was about to say, what a crush. I mean, it was a crush, but still,
Mills, South
unfortunate.
Carolina, sponsored by Innova, Ricky Wysocki.
Rocking those new Innova hats that I love, man. He's turned it. That is not, it's supposed to be a flat bill, but he's made it a flat bill. That's not how you do it, Rick. He still looks good.
Rick does it his way.
At least the hat's sitting on his head, which is an improvement from years past.
This is big.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what you want. With that wind down, you can go with a little bit more flex to get a bite off a little bit more off the tee.
Wow.
Don't know if his plays to try to go for the eagle, but it's been eagled in the past. Speaking of eagles, round two, I didn't mention it yesterday, but Anthony Barella took the only 3 so far in the tournament and in the windiest conditions, and that's definitely worth noting.
Hard to believe. I wish we could see it. Paul plays a hyzer there. He's in a good position, probably about 200 feet to the basket.
We saw Eagle go with the sidearm second shot during round one. I guess the conditions are maybe just calling for the backhand flex.
Needs to be a little bit wary of the out of bounds. So he comes up well short. Well done.
Don't imagine. I think James will he'll be next, and he'll have to go down the road, which can be a really scary second shot.
Oh, it is a really scary second shot. I think.
Awkward footing. That's just got to get around that big tree. Oh, yeah, he's past it. That's going to be back in the middle. Great position to be able to get up and down to save his par.
Yeah, that was a really good shot. Kept it wide enough, and missing the trees coming in, obviously, really important. It looks like Rick's going to get aggressive here.
Yeah, he can see the pin, which is definitely helps on that locking it in, and maybe too high to really get the distance for the pin, and he might have to watch out for the out of bounds left. Oh, but spikes in right at circle 2.
Nice.
Oh yeah, we'll certainly see a good bid for eagle here.
Paul Loheiser. That'll work. Good shot there for eagle.
And James with his JK Aviar leaves about 20 feet left, and Ricky here for eagle with backwards hat and all.
A little. Wow.
Oh, right on the pole, just an inch high.
What a start.
Great effort.
Paul left a lot more distance there than I thought. From the other reverse angle, I thought he was only about 15 feet.
I agree. It looked great. Just a bit too far for Paul on his birdie putt from 35. And eagles in for his birdie. And there you go. The first score of the day is that green color. That is not something we saw much of in round 2.
Because we couldn't watch Eagle McMahon.
Yeah, that's true. He had 2. Oh, no, James, unable to save the par. That's a big mistake. You can see that flag is pretty much dead still. There's movement. There's the idea of wind out there, and it's constant.
That's a real thing. It's like even when it does die, it's hard to trust that it's as low as you think. Just knowing how much credit to give it is a big part of the battle.
Yeah, you really got to just put a little bit more pace, maybe just a touch more spin, and that's the only way to really trust it 100%. But 2 missed putts from James and Paul. Surprising, incredible putters, obviously. That's how they got here. But, 2 birdies for Rick and Eagle and a par and bogey.
Hole 2, par 4, 731, going up the hill, OB on both sides. Eagle has the luxury here to play pretty safe with this monster forehand.
Yeah, I almost said he hung that out there a little wider than he wanted, but he was, no, that was wrong. He was perfect.
That's a great spot to be.
And there's just no stress at all in that. He's just right in the middle, probably 430 feet up the fairway.
Ricky with a nice little turnover. This is a crush.
That's probably the Raptor Destroyers. He really likes those because they have a little bit more turn.
That was pushing 500.
Yeah. And, man, that's way up there. Makes this hole so much easier. The really difficult thing is this approach shot is blind for 99% of the drives on this hole. But if you can get up there where that 250 stake is.
Look at Paul. Look at the control from these guys on a wide rim driver. Just the most gentle turnover.
Yeah, and Paul really likes that Z force for those big shots like that. And James is trying to match those lines a little bit more turn.
Be too heavy. Yeah.
It's actually probably a good tree because that out of bounds on the right comes in play pretty quick.
I think that was headed OB without the tree.
James has the distance to get there in 2. Not going to get there this time. Needed to hang that a little bit wider. Actually, I need to probably bite my tongue because that's ridiculous.
Through the tree, and he's on the green.
Wow, what an incredible recovery. Was that just a recovery or was that an approach?
It was
both at the same time.
Great shot.
But yeah, getting that big distance off the tee is, what a weapon that is.
Unlucky roll for Eags.
Yeah.
That almost hit the pole.
But look at that. Paul can actually see the band, and
he's going mid-range.
To be able to see the basket at all really allows you to be able to hone in that distance.
Oh, man, these guys are really pushing towards that OB back there.
Well, that wasn't the zone, was it? It looked like that was a black disc.
I think it was.
Wow. Going long.
I think this might be a pig.
This looks a little softer, a little bit more nose up. Yeah, and that grabs nicely. Rick will have a 11-foot tap in there. Let's see if Paul can correct the mistake from hole 1.
There it is.
Great putt. Look at that hand.
SloMez.
Locks in on the pole, never breaks the wrist over. Keeps it right on line every time. It's just a matter of getting the height right for Paul.
James, good from about 25.
He corrects the mistake, and we're going to have a star frame here. Wow. I'm pretty sure, and that is saying quite a bit because hole 2 has been playing incredibly tough. Only 2 birdies the whole day in round 2.
Eagle in as well.
I guess I was a little bit presumptuous that Eagle would make his putt, but presumed correctly, and Ricky's just got this tap in. Incredible star frame for our lead card. Hole that was averaging 4.35, the 5th hardest hole on the course. Wow. Not many birdies. I mean, 16% of the field, and you just saw a whole card of them.
Hole 3, par 3, downhill 489, OB fairway area left, and OB cart path right and long. You got 3 gaps here. You go straight up the middle with the backhand or forehand flex. You could go wide forehand on the left side, or you can go wide backhand hyzer on the right. That probably is the most risky route because you have to go out of bounds right away.
Yeah, I think the play that we're going to see from Eagle is, if you've got it, that's the play to go with that big, high, wide sidearm. Looks like Eagle caught a little bit of the foliage. Didn't matter. I mean, come on, dude. I mean...
I'm coming up about 60 short so far this week in the wind that we're having, and he's just putting it on the pin.
Like, I mean, it doesn't really matter for me to say I'm going full flex and throwing great shots and coming up 50 feet short, but like, it should give you a little bit of perspective because I still got some juice.
Yeah.
Or the stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I do at least, but man,
I know you do.
Watching that's just like, where is it coming from?
Look at Rick.
Yeah, Rick's top 5 sidearm player of all time for distance?
Not like that was a great shot for him, but he's 100 short.
Where's the stuff coming from, man? You said he had 10 gallons of the stuff back home?
He has 10 gallons. Yeah, it's incredible.
Let me get a pint, dude. Let me get an ice cream pint of some stuff.
It's not going to be cheap, but go ahead and ask. Paul is also quite short. And James is going to show us that risky hyzer.
Oh, that's so scary, but he's been able to punch up, and he's high enough that I think it should hyzer back in.
Oh.
Off the cart path.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Great shot.
And that looked like it was so safe, and it's still, I mean, if that catches grass on the right side, there's no telling that grass allows it to skip across.
Yeah, especially coming in on a high angle like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of not much speed left. Mm-hmm. Fantastic shot, though. And look, it's just so risky. He's over OB that entire flight.
So much trust in that throw.
There's Paul from about 70.
That's a frustrating run to leave 18, 20 feet left where you still have to work a little bit. Big birdie for James.
Wow.
Incredible bounce back after a disappointing bogey in the first hole. Not a hole many people are bogeying, especially in the top half of the field. But birdieing 2 holes that not many people in the entire field are birdieing with 2 and 3. So
yeah,
showing some great poise there.
Eagle's just waiting around while these other guys just flail these frisbees. He's got to just tap in up here. Par for Paul.
Yeah, I mean, he's less than a meter from the pole. Crazy.
Amazing.
So good.
Hole 4, par 3, 423, OB fairway area on the right side and OB cart path on the left. This is just kind of a big hyzer. You want to control your angle so that you're not ace running too hard or taking a big skip because you're obviously going to go OB over that path. These guys are going to most likely throw kind of a overstable distance driver type shot, put a lot of height underneath it so they can control the speed.
Yeah, a lot of height, a lot of angle with a really sharp rim is great for this. Oh, goodness, this looks a little... No.
It's sharp.
Yeah, very sharp. Okay. Really overstable.
What? Never mind.
No, it's got to be at a...
I thought that was sharp enough, but he might have hit some dry area. He might have almost hit the hard pan right underneath the pin.
I think the play is a little bit wider, higher swing, like more of like a stall hyzer that when it hits the ground, it just doesn't have that continuous momentum pushing it forward, because then you get a lot of those skips that you just saw with Eagle.
And James goes with like a low Thunderbird, kind of a different take on this type of hole. It doesn't really get the left finish, but it's perfect depth, and he's probably edge of circle. Rick with a lot of width here and not a lot of height. I don't know that this has time to swing.
Oh, no, and it's such a weird thing to see that low grass catch like that.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen a lot of shots like that over the weekend that are catching.
It's because it's going uphill, I think. You know, as you're coming down this hill and then you're landing on an upslope, you're not going to get a whole lot of movement.
That looks like a nice in-between shot from Eagles and James.
Is it short?
It is. It's going to be right at the circle's edge.
Not bad.
Hole 4 being the first hole on the course today, averaging below par, but just at 2.9. As you can see, two of the members on our lead card out of bounds, and Ricky going to have to settle for a bogey.
Paul from 34, a little bit right and low. Oh, James.
You can see those feather banners in the background blowing a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more introduction of that head when making that putt. Slightly more difficult. Good thing about Eagle's shot is that it went out of bounds right next to the pin, and he'll have about 17 feet left for his par.
Man, if somebody told you they'd star frame 2 and then go 1 over on 4, I mean, that is not how you draw it up. That's really surprising from these guys on that hole. Hole 5, par 4, 666 feet, going downhill just a little bit at first and then going back uphill past all these trees. Only that very skinny strip is inbound, so this is just a very technical landing zone. You've got really, preferably, you want to be kind of at the edges of the fairway, so you can play either forehand or backhand hyzer around the trees.
Yeah, pretty wide open. I mean,
ooh,
oh gosh,
boy, that is way out of bounds.
We haven't seen Eagle make such a bad throwing error in quite a while. I forget that it's possible.
That was out of bounds very early.
As I was saying, this fairway is pretty wide. It's not necessarily the hardest fairway to hit. But if you're going for a big shot, and it looked like Eagle was trying to pump up the jams quite a bit.
Absolutely.
And I think that was what he just scripted a little bit. And James with a nice throw, but he might be in that in-between area where he's not close enough to trees for an easy approach, but not far enough away either. I think Paul's going to be an okay spot to go with the wide hyzer. I mean, you know, this is a situation where Paul can go another 60 feet if he wanted to easily. But
yeah,
electing to go with a little bit shorter.
That's golf for you.
And Ricky going for full flex. This looks like it might be really, really good. Oh, yeah.
On the edge of the fairway with that kind of distance, he might almost be able to go with an overstable putter.
Eagle, one of the few players that could save the par from this distance.
He's in danger.
I don't think so. I think he's good.
Good.
He's short.
Yeah. I was worried that was a little bit too wide.
Okay, he didn't go for the pin. I thought that he might try to get aggressive, but that's showing the maturity of the young. Is he 21 yet?
I don't know.
He's either 20 or 21, which is crazy because we've been talking about him for seemingly like 10 years now.
Yeah. Maybe closer to 20 or 21. James with the...
Wow, yeah, dude.
He found a little woods tunnel.
Oh, what a fantastic tunnel shot, man. Bringing that Blacksburg, Virginia right up here to Emporia, Kansas. That's really nice.
And Rick going driver for safety here, making sure it finishes. Well done.
Looked like he threw 3/4 of a disc for a second. I wasn't sure if it was a full rounded circle disc.
You throw a drive that good, you only need 3/4 to get up to the basket.
Ooh, a little cheeky sidewalk skip for Eagle. Be a disappointing bogey for Mr. McMahon.
Paul Ticker says 49.
I'm going to call this one 40.
Yeah.
We've seen some, oh man, Mike's busy this week, but we've seen some tickers that are like 50 feet and it's like 80, and that one says 49. I think that was a fresh 42, maybe.
A nice putt, though.
Yeah, nonetheless. Good birdie for McBeth and Ricky, and soon to be James with that fantastic tonal approach.
So Eagle going to drop 2 shots.
Yeah. 2 shots of the card, but, a hole that's still averaging over par, so although you are seeing these guys play, it's not the worst thing in the world. The field is generally struggling on that hole.
Hole 6, par 3, 343 uphill, surrounded by OB as per usual. You're going to go big hyzer here most likely. Try to hit a little bit right of the basket. Take maybe 1 skip. You want to make sure you're not ace running because that rough grass area behind the pin is out of bounds.
That new out of bounds long has got me twice, man. It is certainly in play. Both shots being inside the circle out of bounds. That's it's definitely in play. This needs to get. No, I think this is looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yep. Right distance control.
Nice gallery out today.
McBeth going with the Z Predator. Coming up well short.
Wow, yeah. Outside the circle, I would think.
But really respecting that out of bounds long, I think, is that's definitely in the player's mind when they're on the tee here.
Ricky, nice and wide. Ooh.
Oh, man. Oh, almost drew some metal. Speaking of metal, well, maybe we'll wait for later. Not on this card, but we'll
leave them in suspense.
Yeah, we'll shout out something later because something cool happened yesterday on the course.
And a solid shot from Eagle, 30-footer.
Wow. No, okay,
This is probably right.
I'll buy it. Back to back? No.
Ooh, little low.
Oh, we're getting frisky with the distance meters. I like that.
That one's right also. 35, laser beam.
Dude. His putt is so engineered for this kind of... That never lifted or dropped a single inch. And that's what you got to have. If you're playing in the wide open, which so much of our new tour is geared for, you have to have that straight laser beam spin putt.
Nice birdie from James.
And James has an interesting putt in the wind. It flutters quite a bit, which generally you would think not a really good thing to expose in the wind, but he somehow keeps his disc elevated and on a straight line and is able to repeat it. And that's just the 3 things those are the things you got to worry about. And so maybe not what you would teach a new player, but he makes it work.
Sure. Hole 7, par 4, 669 feet, teeing from out of bounds. So you've got to get through the tunnel and over the path to be in play. Then you've got OB on both sides. The fairway kind of slopes uphill late, so it kind of feels like a low ceiling, lower than it actually is because you're often throwing from the high side. Just to get up to this basket, kind of a nice little protected green. Not the hardest hole, but this tee shot is definitely a little bit intimidating.
Yeah, not even close to the hardest hole. It's actually the second easiest. But, ooh, man, that's a fortunate break. James kicking left is inbounds. We saw Johnny McRae first round get up and down from there, which blew our minds at the time, and still does, I guess.
That's what that branch does to you, though. Look at these guys. They're ultra worried about hitting that and staying OB, so they're really trying to get their weight forward and get a nice low-driven shot. That's how you really do it.
Eagle flipping up Something that's quite quick, getting down to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Might have a forehand approach from there.
Yeah, I think he might be challenging that outside gap down the cart path. And McBeth maybe even better than McMahon here on this one.
Yeah. At least his equal.
Mm-hmm.
Those are both great.
Yeah, we go from the easiest hole on 6 to the second easy on 7, right before we go to the second hardest and the fourth hardest on 8 and 9. So a little bit relaxed here on this stretch, but don't get used to that.
Oh, James gets over on that a little bit more than he wanted to, but it's a good shot. He'll have easy par.
Yeah, from there you're thinking par is, I mean, that's pretty much turns into a birdie from back here.
Yeah.
This is as good as you can do.
But Rick kind of says, is it really as good as you can do? Because I might just be about to get there.
In the general sense of view.
Yeah.
Like
Wow,
the
that was-
99.99% of the disc golf population.
That was a great shot.
And like you said, Nate, Eagle does line up that outside forehand. Maybe a bit sawed off.
Did catch the tree.
Mm-hmm. So Eagle's got some work left.
Yeah, advantage Paul here just because with that forehand you do have to just pick a gap, and Paul's got obviously nothing in his way. So a little bit preferable to be in that middle.
Mm-hmm. And McBeth leaving a little bit short with that TI buzz. Got about 29 feet left of work to do.
And James with a very short X-step shot.
Just going through the motions, I suppose. Eagle, 55.
He wouldn't do it, would he?
He might do it.
Oh, had me believing. And Rick a little bit low. Paul still has some work left as well.
Yep, but Paul's able to connect. There must have been a sale at the distance meter store because they're just flying off the shelves today.
Yeah, I think there was a pretty good deal. It's like a buy 3, get 2 free situation.
You ever seen like a half gallon of Breyer's ice cream, like buy 3, get 2 free? Who has room for 5 half gallons of ice cream in your freezer, man?
I don't know. But
I do.
They're getting a deal. Hole 8, par 5, 990 feet. OB on both sides, going downhill and up over the rise, through the woods, all the way past the women's basket to that long basket coming into view now. OB Lake on the left, and the path just runs the entire length. So just what's paramount here is just got to stay in bounds. You don't even need to chew up that much distance to be in play for some kind of birdie look. Certainly a par if you just kind of play it smoothly.
And McBeth going super high and aggressive, but trying to bring that big, sharp angle to the middle for a little skip, and can't really do it much better than that. That's
ideal.
Perfect. He's bitten off at least 425 feet or so.
And James
going to
flat shot.
Flat star Thunderbird. So good at that throw, and that's how you beat the wind, folks, right there. I mean, there's not much wind, but it's there, like we're talking about. That pressure is evident in the air. You can feel it. You might not be able to see it with the feather banners, but
it's gusty for sure.
Rick is definitely concerned about this one. This is heading pretty far left, and
big distance at least, but out of bounds.
Maybe the farthest we've seen in the 3 rounds thus far.
Yeah, he should be able to see the basket from there, so I think par still highly likely. Wow. Oh.
And that is the mistake that I don't know if we've seen that yet. And that's really bad news because
what? Why?
He
was that wide.
They must have said that he never crossed in bounds, and now Eagle's looking at most likely, I don't want to say double bogey, but probably double bogey at best.
Yeah, that is
because he's going ultra conservative there just to make sure he's in bounds, and now he has to get essentially a birdie just to get the bogey.
Yeah.
And he's way out of position, but this is a good forehand. Again, could be a little bit in danger.
Oh, boy.
No.
Oh, no. This is a big number now.
He's bringing in Frosty into play right now.
MD4 from James.
That needs to keep turning, and it looks like it. No, it's fading out, and that is one of James' favorite approach discs. I hope he can get that back because that'd be a. You should be able to draft the edge, but get murky down there.
Yeah.
All those muskrats.
Keep an eye out.
I can't say it as good as you, man. I keep trying.
You'll get there. Paul with a forehand a little high. This needs to settle softly, and it does. Rick, way up the fairway. Oh, he says sit. He's okay. Great shot. So eagle up and down for a 7 here. Looks like he'll be able to do that.
Big opportunity for Paul. Trailing by 3 can make up all 3 strokes with a birdie. And he is going to have those 3 right there, playing the hole to perfection. We're going to have a tie game going into hole 9.
Wow.
I don't know if he was trying to run that, but it certainly looked like he may have been giving it a bit of a run, and he's going to have to work hard to get that par. Or is this for bogey? We'll see here shortly.
Eagle double bogey. Paul birdie 4. And Ricky with a nice par after going out of bounds. Hole 9, par 4, 651 over OB this whole way through the woods. You have to make it to the green grass to be inbounds. If you do not, you have to go to a drop zone that is basically an impossible up and down, so you're looking at bogey at best. These guys are probably going to throw mid-ranges, maybe fairway drivers if they want to get aggressive. Try to just keep the disc very flat, get out of the tunnel, and find the fairway. Yup.
Oof. Can't throw it much better than that, folks.
I'll give that one big yup.
I guess the only thing you could really do better than that is go a little bit longer so you're close to the edge of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That gives you the best angle for your approach, but you don't really want to bring that sidewalk into play at all if you can avoid it. James with a beautiful flex, and that looks like it's the MD4, so it looks like he may have been able to retrieve his lost buddy from the last hole. Or maybe he has some backups in the bag.
Ricky needs a little love. Looks like he's going to be okay.
And I think that could even be better than Paul's throw just because of that angle and Ricky's ability to throw that big, wide sidearm.
Ooh, eagle. Early.
You know, it's an interesting thing to see. You know, the last 2 seasons, he's been so consistent with his throws. We've seen a really strange shot on hole 5.
He's one guy who could actually reach the pin. It doesn't seem possible. Doesn't seem fair, but he can do it.
You step up to that drop zone, and even the average top pro is just like, this is silly because you can't get up and down. He threw a flip up, which is so aggressive. It's really impressive to see that. But
Ricky, wow, great shot into the circle. Nice use of the Sexton Firebird. Thanks a lot, Rick.
Those 2019s are sweet, man. I'm throwing one for sure. It's nice and ever stable.
Paul up 2 circles edge as well.
That pro topspin. You don't always see the pro topspin and the pro backspin.
Getting out of there. EVR.
James with a scary backing Anheuser. He loves this kind of shot, though. He's such a...
I just don't think this shot scares him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is him in his comfort zone. I played this hole with Calvin Heimberg, a man who fears neither death nor bogeys, and he threw the disc so far that he could see the basket.
Yeah, that's...
He just went backhand rhino, I think, to the pin.
Oh, wow. Eagle, I mean, to even have a run for the par after going out of bounds off the tee is crazy. And look at that. The distance meter store is just on a fire sale right now. And Paul unable to capitalize all that time and effort that went into that graphic is for nothing.
Great.
Bring it home, buddy.
SloMez. Sometimes I wonder where those guys that were like, every time you put up a ticker, I know it's going in. Quit spoiling it. What are those guys doing now? Are they proud of what they did? Are they?
They're not saying anything.
They're gone. They just retreated. Rick
for the birdie as well.
That is such a Rick putt. So perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that thing. Is it even spinning? I can't tell.
A single flut. I don't even want to call it flutter.
Yeah, no, you
Not
said
a
it
single
right.
Flut,
you
man.
said it right. That was great.
No fluts in that putt. Eagle settling for bogey, which is basically I don't want to say the best you can do because after I've seen his approach shot, but
yeah, new leader
is the
new leader.
Oh goodness, yeah! Wow, in just 2 holes, 3 holes. I mean, he had a 4-stroke lead going into 7.
Yep.
And now McBeth has surpassed him. There is some movement going on here, not just in James' ankle, but in the field. Going to be an exciting back 9 for the 3rd round. Make sure you check it out. We'll see you. Don't forget to click the logo to subscribe. See you soon.